If I had to start investing in 2026 with the same income, the same responsibilities, and the same financial anxiety that most people feel, I would do it very differently than most creators tell you to. Not because investing is complicated, but because most investing advice completely ignores how money actually feels in real life. See, most people don't avoid investing because they don't know what a stock is. They avoid it because their money already feels tight. It already feels uncertain. It already feels like one surprise could throw everything off. So when someone says just start investing, what your brain actually hears is risk the little stability that you have left. That's why this video is not about picking stocks. It's not about beating the market, and it's not about getting rich fast. It's about how to start investing in a way that actually makes your financial life feel safer, not more stressful. Because when investing is built on top of chaos, it falls apart. But when it's built on top of stability, it compounds quietly in the background while your life gets calmer. So this video is the exact way I would start investing in 2026 if I had to do it from scratch. It's a calm, CFO-style approach built around 3 goals. The first, protect your stability. The second is to automate consistency. And the third is to invest in a way that you can stick to for years. Here's the first rule. I don't invest money my nervous system still needs for safety. That one line explains why so many people start investing and then stop. They invest with money that looks extra on paper, but it's emotionally required in real life. Money that might be needed for a car repair, a medical bill, a slow month, a kid expense, a surprise tax bill, or just one of those weeks where everything hits at once. See, if you invest with that money, you will eventually pull it back out. Not because you're weak or not because you lack discipline, but because you're human. So if I was starting over, before I invested a single dollar, I would start by building a buffer. Not a perfect emergency fund, a starter buffer. The first layer of stability that keeps you from touching investments when life happens. If you're salaried, I'd aim for 1 month of essential expenses. If you have variable income and you work on commission, or you're a business owner, or you have side hustles, 2 months is probably more realistic because your cash flow is bumpier. Essential expenses means housing, utilities, groceries, insurance, minimum debt payments, basic transportation, and childcare if you have it. Not vacations, not shopping, not the nice month, the baseline month, just what you need to get by. Here's a real example. Say you bring home $6,500 a month. Your essentials might look a little like this. Housing for $2,200, car plus insurance is $750, utilities at $300, groceries at $700, childcare at $1,200, debt minimum payments at $300, gas and transportation at $250. That's $5,700 worth of essentials. If you have zero buffer, your system is living on the edge, even with a solid income. So investing $500 a month sounds responsible, but $1,200 car repair can wipe out that one habit instantly. So this is why the buffer's important. I set a starter buffer goal, maybe $2,000, maybe $5,700, based on your baseline, not based on a random internet number. And I'd give it a timeline, 8 weeks, 12 weeks, whatever is realistic. The point is to create a wall between you and chaos. While building that buffer, I'm also going to do the second thing, which is this: dealing with high interest debt. Listen, if you have credit card debt at 18 to 29% interest, you're not just behind financially. You're paying a compounding stress tax. That interest rate is compounding against you faster than most investments compound for you. So if I'm starting in 2026, my priority is simple. Stop the compounding that hurts me before I chase the compounding that helps me. That usually means one of 2 paths. Path A, pause investing temporarily and just attack the debt. This is clean and fast if the debt is heavy and the interest is brutal. Path B, invest a small identity amount while paying down debt aggressively. Look, this keeps the habit alive without pretending you can do everything at once. An identity amount might be $25 or $50 a paycheck, something super tiny. Small enough that it doesn't destabilize you, but real enough that you're building that muscle. Because investing is not just math, it's behavior. Now, once the buffer is started and the debt is on a plan, this is the move that changes everything. I make investing automatic. See, most people fail at investing because it stays optional. I would set an auto transfer that happens on payday. Yes, on payday. Because if you wait to the end of the month, your spending will absorb the money first. If you're paid bi-weekly, then it's bi-weekly. If you're paid monthly, then it's monthly. Consistency matters more than frequency when it comes to investing. And I would start with a number I can sustain on my worst normal month, not my best month. Don't build your system on optimism. Build it on repeatability. Here's a good example. Let's say you chose $100 per paycheck. People hear that and think it's too small, but here's the truth. $100 invested consistently beats $500 inconsistently. Consistency is what compounds. Now, I know naturally the next question is that everyone asks, what do I buy? What do I invest in? If I'm starting in 2026, I start boring on purpose. I would not build my foundation on individual stocks. I'm not saying stocks are evil. I'm saying most beginners turn single stocks into an emotional roller coaster. They check the prices, they check the headlines, they feel smart when it's up and stupid when it's down. That emotional loop is the enemy of long-term investing. So I'd start with a broad market index fund or ETF. Something that gives me diversified exposure without needing constant decisions. The goal isn't to be clever. The goal is to stay invested. Think of it like this. The best investment is the one you can hold throughout a messy year without panic. And 2026 will have messy moments. Every single year does. The temptation will be to wait for certainty or time the dip. But certainty isn't a moving target. There's always something. Rates, elections, layoffs, inflation, wars, headlines, fear, all types of stuff. If you wait for calm, you'll delay for years. So I adopted a rule. I invest on schedules, not based on the news. Sometimes you'll buy at a higher price, sometimes lower. Over time, it will average out positively. More importantly, you train your identity and your brain. I'm the kind of person who invests over time. That identity matters because you keep it consistent when motivation fades. Now, here's the part that makes this work for people who still feel broke. Containment. I talk about this all the time on my channel. Most people try to invest out of one checking account. That means bills, spending, random surprises, investing, all come out of the same bucket. Every investment decision then becomes a negotiation. Can I afford to buy this right now? And because the money is mixed, the answer always feels unclear. So investing always feels risky. I would separate money by purpose. At a minimum, at a very, very minimum, I want a bills account, which are fixed obligations, a spending account, which are life and variable spending, an investing and savings path, which is automatic transfers out based on your paycheck. And that's all I would have. This doesn't have to be complicated. You're not creating 12 different accounts. You're creating clarity. And here's how it looks on payday. At first, money flows to the bills account first. So fixed costs are covered no matter what. Then your money flows to your investing account, so progress is protected. And lastly, your money flows to spending, so your life is set and you have nothing to worry about and you can spend however you want. That order matters. If you fund spending first, then investing gets whatever's left. If you fund investing first, then spending naturally adapts. This is also where safe spending comes in. I've talked about this before on my channel, but safe spending is the amount you're allowed to spend without guilt because your system has already accounted for it. Without safe spending, every single purchase feels like you're doing something wrong, and I've been here so many times. That guilt only leads to avoidance. Avoidance leads to chaos, and chaos kills investing. So I decide on a safe spending number, weekly or bi-weekly, and then I transfer that into the spending account like a paycheck. And when it's there, you spend. You do whatever you want. When it's low, you slow down. It's just you spend however you want. Now let's make this practical with a simple example. Say after bills, you have $1,200 worth of margin. You might decide $600 goes to progress, which is your debt payoff buffer investing, or $600 goes to safe spending. Or if you're trying to accelerate your stability, maybe $800 goes to progress, which is your debt payoff investing and saving, and $400 is to safe spending. The exact split depends on your life, but the principle is the same. Decide intentionally so you're not renegotiating every single day. Now, let's talk about what most people get wrong when they start investing. They expect it to feel rewarding early. In the beginning, the numbers look small. You invest $200 and then it becomes $203 and you feel unimpressed. Or you invest 2 months and the market dips and you're down $40 and you feel like you did something wrong. Listen, this is normal. Early investing is contribution heavy. The compounding becomes obvious later, and you won't feel that sometimes until years down the line. So if I'm starting in 2026, I would measure success differently. I don't measure success by returns in month one. I measure success by whether the system is still running 3 months from now without me thinking about it. Listen, that's the real win. Automation plus consistency. And to protect your consistency, I stopped checking the account like it's a scoreboard. Checking the account only creates emotion. Emotion creates reaction, and reaction creates bad decisions. So I pick a review rhythm, monthly or quarterly. I check that the transfers happened, that the allocation still makes sense, and that my life still has margin. Then, honestly, I close the app. Now, let's put this into a clean step-by-step plan so you can actually follow this. And if you want, you can screenshot this all day long. But if you want to start investing in 2026, I do it in this order. Step number 1, build a starter buffer. 1 month of essentials. 2, if your income is variable. Step number 2 is to put high interest debt on a plan. Attack it or run a small identity investment while paying it down. Step number 3 is to set an automatic transfer on payday. Small enough to sustain, consistent enough to compound. Step number 4 is to start boring with diversified index funds or ETFs. Reduce your emotion and reduce your decisions. Step number 5 is to add containment. Separate your bills, spending, and your progress so investing doesn't fight your life. And step number 6, create safe spending. Permission inside boundaries so guilt doesn't sabotage you. Step number 7, review monthly or quarterly. This is just a quick system check, not a daily scorekeeping. That's it. That's the system. And it works because it respects how humans actually behave. Most financial advice assumes you'll be disciplined forever. Real life doesn't work that way. A good system works on tired days, busy seasons, and stressful months. It works when your kids get sick. It works when you have a surprise expense. It works when you're not at your best. That's what calm money is actually about. Not a perfect life, a predictable structure. If you're someone who makes decent money but still feels broke, this is how you start investing without turning into another emotional battle. You build safety first, you automate your progress, and then you contain your cash flow. I talk about it so much on this channel, you're probably sick of hearing it. Then you just let time do the heavy lifting. And if you want deeper foundation on why this works, why your brain experiences money through predictability and not totals, go watch the video on this channel where I explain why people feel broke even with a good income. That video gives the language. This video gives more of the structure. Because wealth isn't built by one perfect decision in 2026. It's built by a system you can live inside of for the next 10 years.